I never expected much from birthdays anymore. When you've been married long enough, you stop waiting for surprises. Still, you don't expect to feel invisible. I'm Callum Hayes, 42, project manager, steady life, steady habits. I woke up that morning believing maybe, just maybe, my wife would remember. 13 years together teaches you patterns. She used to make a big deal out of days like this. Cards, breakfast, a small smile that said I mattered. That morning, nothing. No greeting. No kiss. She walked past me scrolling her phone, already irritated by something I hadn't done. I told myself it was early. I told myself not to read into it. I always told myself that. At work, emails piled up, meetings blurred together, and my phone stayed silent. Not a single message from her. Around noon I checked, half embarrassed at my own hope. Still nothing. By evening, the silence felt deliberate. When I got home, the house smelled like reheated leftovers. She was on the couch, television on, feet tucked under her, laughing at something on the screen. I stood there longer than I should have. She didn't look up. Eventually I said, quietly, "It's my birthday." She glanced at me, expression blank, and said, "Oh, right. I forgot." Then she turned back to the show. No apology. No pause. Just forgot. Something inside me tightened. Not anger. Something colder. I nodded, went upstairs, and changed. Later that night, her family came over for a casual dinner that had apparently been planned for days. Everyone else remembered. Her aunt hugged me. Her uncle joked about my age. My wife stayed distant, irritated, like my existence inconvenienced her. I watched her laugh with others, offer warmth freely, while I sat beside her like furniture. I didn't make a scene. I never do. I just observed. Observation becomes a survival skill when confrontation gets you nowhere. Her cousin Rowan arrived late. Rowan had always been different. Sharp eyes, quiet confidence. She hugged me longer than necessary and whispered, "Happy birthday, Callum." It was the first time all day I felt seen. As the night went on, my wife barely spoke to me. When cake was brought out, she handed out slices without even looking my way. Someone else passed me a plate. That was when Rowan noticed. Her jaw tightened slightly. She said nothing. She just watched. After dinner, people drifted outside. I stood near the kitchen counter, staring at nothing. Rowan stepped beside me and said softly, "You don't deserve that." I shrugged. Old habit. Downplay. She shook her head. "No, you really don't." My wife called her name from the patio, impatient. Rowan ignored it. She reached out, took my hand, firm and deliberate, and said, "Come on, let's show them." It wasn't flirtation. It was defiance. It was recognition. We walked outside together, hand in hand. Conversation slowed. Heads turned. My wife froze mid-sentence. For the first time all evening, she looked directly at me. Confusion flashed, then irritation, then something close to panic. Rowan didn't let go. She addressed the group calmly. "It's his birthday. Has anyone noticed how he's been treated tonight?" Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. My wife laughed awkwardly and said, "Don't be dramatic." Rowan replied evenly, "I'm not. I'm observant." I felt my pulse steady, not racing, settling. My wife pulled me aside, hissing under her breath, asking what I thought I was doing. I met her eyes and said, standing where I should have been standing for years. She stared at me like she didn't recognize me. Maybe she didn't. Maybe I was new to both of us. Rowan released my hand then, not because she had to, but because she'd made her point. She smiled at me, small and knowing, and said, "Happy birthday." Then she walked away. The rest of the night passed in fragments. My wife avoided me. People left early. When the door finally closed behind the last guest, she exploded. Accusations, embarrassment, blame. I listened quietly. When she finished, I said, "You forgot my birthday. That's not the problem. The problem is you forgot me long before today." She scoffed, said I was overreacting. I nodded. Calmly. "That's what you always say." I slept in the guest room that night. Not out of spite. Out of clarity. The next morning, I felt lighter. Not happy. Honest. My wife acted like nothing happened, already rewriting the story. I didn't argue. I didn't correct her. I started planning. Not revenge. Reality. Conversations I'd avoided. Decisions I'd delayed. That birthday wasn't ruined. It was revealed. Rowan texted me once later that week. Just 3 words. "You matter too." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. The message wasn't an invitation. It was confirmation. Some people don't change. They expose. And sometimes, all it takes is one ignored birthday and one steady hand to remind you that being chosen starts with choosing yourself.